Hello everyone, and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Here we go again, another time capsule of an episode, I suppose, as we look back to what was update 1.38, in which was added a couple of Civics and a very nice Mazda Group 4 car, which is quite fun to drive. It was the subject of the Fuji race in sport mode that I did a while ago. But anyway, that was it was a very fun race. I really enjoyed that one. But we're going to start off by looking at the Honda Civic Type R FL5 from 2022. Comes in 5 different colors, but there's only one real option. It's championship white all the way for anything Honda. So that is, of course, the way we are going to go. But yeah, without further ado, let's see how this car goes out on the track. And the event we will be taking it to is the Race of Turbo Sports Cars at Dragon Trail Seaside layouts. We did the Gardens layout in the previous episode, so this is the other one. It is not my preferred layout of the circuit. You wouldn't even know they're layouts of the same circuit, honestly. They're vastly different. I don't even know if they use any parts of the same road, but anyway, let's well, that's a little bit of a hop over the curves already there, as we're up into 15th position, a race of 16 cars and 5 laps around the circuit, so a fairly lengthy race. I have done some upgrades in this car and had a few cracks at this race already, so yeah, it's one that's proven a little bit difficult. Of course, I tried to do these races with the least amounts of upgrades possible at first, and you know, steadily build up until it's you know, the right level of challenge. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes, as we've moved ourselves up another position up into P14 in the meantime. Good run as we start pushing the car in front there. That's not what we want to be doing. Let's go and try and make the overtake around the outside up into P13. So steady progress so far. We do have 5 laps to get it done, so it's enough time to take our time and make these overtakes properly as we head towards this chicane that I've never quite been able to get right, because you can go absolutely full send, but it's very easy to go over the marks and take things a little too far. But we survive it well on that occasion. We've moved up into P11 so far. As we continue on to the start of lap number 2, we catch up to a trio of cars all scrapping it out here. We're going to join the fight and slice straight through the middle down into the braking zone, and that's a nice triple overtake there, and we get through the next section rather nicely and move ourselves up into P8. That was a very satisfying move to make. We now set our sights on the group ahead as we get the tail wagon through the double right-hander, missing the second apex there as well. So yeah, the front-wheel drive layout makes this car easier to catch in those situations, but yeah, we do need to watch out just a little bit as well. There it is on the onboard. As we continue to follow on with the action, we will soon catch up to another trio of cars through the chicane as we find the barrier there, and that's what I mean. It's very, very easy to overcook that section of the circuit. We've got a good run on the exit though. We're going to grab at least 2 of these positions along the next straight, maybe even 3. We might be able to move ourselves up into the top 5. This is what this is the fights for. Not quite able to get there along that straight, but surely on the main straight we'll be able to get this move done on the exit of the final corner. We'll muscle our way through just about there, move ourselves up into P5. You love that front wheel drive understeer. Anyway, moved on now to lap number 4 before we can catch up to the next group of cars, and a late move there to the inside, and we'll slice our way up into 4th position with a late and very aggressive move there. It doesn't take long for us to get the podium in sight, as later on in the lap we go for the move to the outside, and around the outside of this kind of wide hairpin corner we'll make the move up into 3rd position. Well, as we continue on to the final lap then, we do catch up to the leading pair, dive down the inside of the Supra, Why we're racing against a Supra in a Honda Civic, I'm not 100% sure, but that's what the race of turbo sports cars is, I suppose. But anyway, we are now just one position away from the race lead. The Sierra leading the way into the braking zone of the wide hairpin, and we go a bit deep there, so it's going to cost us a bit of time. We are really running out of time. This, aside from the chicane, really only one corner to go to try and get this move done into the race lead, so we're going to need a great run through the chicane if we're going to make this one work. We use the barrier there to try and get through with a bit more momentum. On the exit, we're going to get the run on the Sierra, and it's a nice easy move in a straight line, although we don't have the straight line speed to compete. Look at that, they are flying along as we're going to go for the move late down the inside. Huge lunge down the inside, bit of contact, and we are absolutely going to shove our way through there and say no to you, sir. We are going to take the victory here, as they're going to have a big run on the exit as well, but we'll hold on, and that is first place here. And finally we get this one done. It was a pretty tough race actually, but yeah, we've got it done. We can move on to the next event. But before we do that, just one other thing to cover off, and that is I've been slowly chipping away trying to buy all the cars in the Haggerty collection of legendary cars, and this is a very big one to tick off the list because it is 20 million credits, equal tied with a couple of other cars as the most expensive car in the game. So yeah, this is you know, it's when you see one of these come up, it's a big commitment to actually, you know, put in the time and the money grinding to actually save up for one of these cars. It's like at best probably like 14 hours of money grinding with the 1 hour race I do at Spa. It's a long time. So yeah, that's the sort of effort you need to put in to get a car like this in Gran Turismo. They are just so ridiculously expensive, and for good reason, because this particular car is very historic. It even says in the story specifically this is chassis 007/52, the actual Le Mans winning car by Mercedes in the 1950s. So yeah, a very iconic and historic car, and kind of cute as well, to be honest. But anyway, that is yeah, $20 million going down the drain. It's almost scary just spending that money all at once after you've spent, you know, a couple of days at least trying to gain the money. But there we go, boosts our collector score by 20,000, goes from 420 to 440. So that's a huge jump. But anyway, that's that. We can now move on to the next thing, which is actually going to be a menu book. One car that was added in the previous update, technically, was the Toyota GR Corolla Morizo edition. However, it was given as a reward to certain people for something, I can't remember what it was, something I didn't do anyway, which is why it wasn't in that video. But now it's available for purchase, and we can complete this menu book that was added with this update. The Toyota GR collection, 6-star roulette ticket for our troubles. Now let's see what we can learn about these cars. From small K cars to large SUVs to utility vehicles of all sizes, Toyota's done it all. Debuting in 2017, the GR series is Toyota's range of sports cars with a direct link to motorsport. The cars in this series are built by Toyota Gazoo Racing, TGR, Toyota's in-house racing division. Take any one of them for a spin and you'll instantly see what makes them special. A key figure behind this series was Hiromu Naruse, Toyota's former master test driver. During his many years at the company, Naruse not only served as its top test driver, but also its guardian of flavour. There's a great Naruse quote from when he was training some Top Guns on the test track in Shizuoka. Speaking from his experience about how great test drivers can make great cars, he allegedly said, "You can tell the quality of a car from the moment its tires start spinning." There are drivers who will post faster track times than us, so we should not just drive fast, but know our cars fully. This way, we can accurately convey to our engineers what works and what doesn't at high speeds. If you can make your own adjustments and design parts, then you have what it takes to be a great test driver. Naruse's design philosophy made a strong impression on Akio Toyoda, the company's 11th president. Eager to make great cars, Toyota studied under Naruse as a test driver. Competing under the racing alias Marizo, he began applying his track experience to development. The team that grew from Toyota and Naruse's collaboration eventually became Gazoo Racing. While Naruse sadly lost his life in an accident in 2010, Toyota carried on his work and philosophy. Today, Gazoo Racing competes at motorsport events around the world, including the Le Mans 24 Hours, and continues to build miraculous sports cars, such as the GR Yaris, built to win rally races, and the GR Corolla Marizo Edition, a car full of racing know-how. Without a doubt, GR is one of the most captivating sports car brands in the world. Well, there we have it. That is the story, the somewhat sad story of GR Gazoo Racing and all that has come from it. There's quite a few GR cars in Gran Turismo. We've got the Corolla now, there's a Yaris, I think there's two GR Supras, and there's the racing GR Supra as well. The one that Akio Toyoda actually used in the Nürburgring 24 Hour, along with the Le Mans car, of course, the GR010. But anyway, we have a 6-star roulette ticket after that one, so we'll see what we get. It's going to be an engine of some description. Wonder if it's going to be a Toyota engine. Probably not. That's a very slim chance. And we get the Nissan Silvia Spec-R Aero engine. Interesting. Not sure what we're going to do with that, but anyway, we'll head back to Brand Central and get our second car for the video. Or the second one we are actually going to drive anyway. But today, well, for this one, I mean, we head to a new dealership, RCR, and this is another SEMA award-winning car, and it is this time a Honda Civic. So, yeah, interesting. It is the second Japanese car to be featured as a SEMA award winner, but let's have a little read of this. The Garage RCR Civic is a finely tuned mod of the EG Civic, a popular Japanese hot hatch from the 1990s. Garage RCR is a body shop located in Phoenix, Arizona. They specialize in fitting Pandem wide-body kits and other Japanese tuning parts to cars. This car is, without a doubt, a JDM custom hero. Powered by a swapped-in 2.4-litre K-Series engine with turbo, it can push 400 horsepower and drives like a dream. In 2017, it was crowned with the Gran Turismo Award at SEMA, the world's largest custom car show. And that's the end of the little story about the Civic. So let's go ahead and buy this thing at 300,000 credits, as with all the other SEMA award-winning cars. And we'll add this one to the garage. And yeah, we will go see what it's like out on the track. So yeah, but first actually, there is one little thing that we should do. And that is we head back to our garage, and we can see Sarah here. How wonderful, how absolutely amazing. Player 8T, your car collection now contains 400 cars. Why not go and check them out in all their glory? It's quite a sight. I'm sure it is. 400 cars in one place, no matter what the cars are, would be kind of crazy to see. But anyway, this would definitely earn you some bragging rights amongst your friends. I guess you can be the judge of that. I think everyone's going to be blown away by the collector you've become. Yeah, 400 cars. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how many cars were in the game at this point in time. But regardless, that's easily more than 80% of the cars that we now have. So, yeah, that is crazy. The numbers would be in the high 400s of cars in the game entirely. So, yeah, we've got a lot of progress done in car collecting. But anyway, we get racing here at Grand Valley Highway for another race of turbo sports cars, this time in the SEMA award-winning Garage RCR Civic and a much older Civic. Ouch, that hurt. Yeah, that went wrong very quickly. Yeah, this car, it wasn't quite as cooperative as the newer Civic. Still reasonably fun to drive, but it was just a bit to get used to, I suppose. But yeah, we'll see how this goes as we finally start to make our way through the field and get ourselves up out of last position into P15 as we head over the Grand Valley Bridge into the next sequence of corners. And yeah, it's not great in the corners. It's yeah, definitely more of a straight line machine, but I guess that's sort of what the point is. If you're going to put 400 horsepower into a front-wheel drive car, you can't expect it to be too cooperative. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of this race goes. We're starting to get the hang of it now through this tight and twisty section. It's actually not bad through the corners now that I sort of have gotten into more of a rhythm with it. And yeah, it's an interesting driving experience. I wouldn't say it's the best handling thing in the world still, but it is certainly, an exciting car to drive for a front-wheel drive. So anyway, we continue to try and force our way up through the field. A whole group of cars here we're trying to muscle our way through, and we move ourselves up a couple more positions. Big dive down the inside. We can't quite make the move there just yet. We're trying to break into the top 10 here by the end of the first lap as we get the power down on the straight. What is the comparison going to be like to those around us? Pretty similar, actually. So yeah, this car doesn't do any one thing particularly well. It's just sort of decent all round in its current form, I suppose. But yeah, you can see there, better straight line speed than some cars, not as good as others. It's sort of right in the middle. So yeah, we're going to have a bit of a moment here again, and that's another violent bounce off the wall. This time we keep it pointing forwards on the track, so we take a big old shortcut there over the bollards. We've moved ourselves up so far into 9th position in the race. As we continue on then, and making our way through the race, we will still 8th position there, having to fight our way through a little bit, but we managed to muscle our way past, and a few more spots to be gained in the near future as we make our way around the outside of the hairpin. And not a great run through there. We'll lose out in the end, but some power down, and we just can't quite match them in a straight line as we try and fight it through the few wavy corners back around towards the other hairpin. Traditionally turn 2, we are doing this track in reverse direction, of course, at the moment. So yeah, we move ourselves back up into 7th position, and we'll see if we can close in on these next couple of cars along the straight. Again, we'll see the straight line speed comparison, and once again, our straight line speed doesn't seem too great versus the cars around us. So it's really going to have to be the corners and the driving itself that helps us out in this race as we carry good speed through the high speed left-hander, and that's given us a nice run along the bridge. And let's not hit the thing we've hit in the previous 2 laps as we go very deep there, and oh, into the wall there, and now we've just made an even bigger mistake. So yeah, it's proving tough at the moment as we are again going to be looking for a re-overtaking maneuver here along the viaduct, and we're just not there in terms of straight line speed. We remain in P7 for the time being. Big lunge down the inside, and we'll try and muscle our way through up into P6. There's an overtake done, and we'll try to get one more as we head through the rock shelter, I believe this is called, and into the next sequence of corners. We'll see if we can go full send. We can't get to the outside just yet. It is another garage RCR Civic in front of us, funnily enough, so you know, even playing field between us as we race on and up towards the hairpin eventually, where I'm thinking we might be able to get this move done. Big lunge down the inside, and we finally make that overtake up into 5th position now on track. As we continue on to the start of lap number 4, we are making the move up into 4th position on track, trying to get through on the inside, and we sort of muscle our way past there, but we get the job done regardless, up into P4 as we just about get through this safely-ish. Bit of a graze, knock over a few bollards on the way through, that's all fine, and we're up into P4 as we're starting to get a little bit desperate, trying to catch up to the race leaders. They're really just right there in front of us, so with that move we're up into 3rd position with the leaders in sight, as we're going to get re-overtaken here rather quickly, so we're going to have to go full send around the outside, and we get that position back up into 3rd place. On to the final lap of the race then, and there's really not too much to go, and we try to carry the speed onto the bridge, hit the barrier there, and we're going to try and find a way past the Supra here, down the inside. We've gone deep here again, but we just about managed to keep it on, and we move ourselves up into 2nd position, just the Sierra in front of us now. A very odd combination of cars we have here. I kind of pointed it out in the first race, but to have a Sierra leading a highly modified Civic and leading a Supra, all very close on overall pace, is rather strange. But anyway, we will soon be making our way past the old Sierra, Cosworth power at the front end of that machine as we head under the rock shelter once more. We can't quite match the straight line speed, but we can beat them in the corners, and that's where we are gaining the time. Thankfully, this track is quite tight and twisty in sections. It's a good mix actually of all sorts of corners and straights as we make our way around the outside of the Cosworth Sierra there, and we move ourselves up into the race lead. Moving on now to the end of the race, and we had no further issues, weave to the line, and finally we get that one done. That was a bit of an effort to win that one. It took quite a few attempts, but anyway, got there eventually, and yeah, we can finally move on to the next race, the 3rd and final race of the video. But yeah, that's that done, and the next car we're going to drive is the Mazda 3 Group 4 car. As I think I mentioned earlier, the car we drove already at the Fuji Speedway, what's it called, event, Nations Cup event a while back. But yeah, anyway, we will see what this car is like against the AI racing at, I believe, Mount Panorama for this one. So yeah, we'll see how things go. It's the World Touring Car 700 event, 7 laps at Bathurst. So it's going to be an exciting one, as I'm going to turn the difficulty down slightly for this, because I've had a few issues with this race. You'll see by the mileage of the car in the bottom left. Not my first attempt. But anyway, the start thing goes away and we can race. I was going to say the lights go out, but we don't have 5 red lights in this game. Anyway, we're racing here at Bathurst, and as we round the first corner, we've got a good run up the hill on the first of 7 laps, P20 at the moment, so we need to make a lot of progress the start of this one as we work our way up Mountain Straight over the crest. We're going to take 2 positions in the length of Mountain Straight, and we'll move ourselves up into P18 so far. On to the top of the mountain then, and a whole cluster of cars all stacked up on top of each other here as we make our way down. A little bit of contact on the way through, and we can't quite make all the overtakes there, but everyone is very much on top of each other here as we work our way down the mountain. A little bit of a wobble there at a bad time and we hit the wall, but nonetheless we're up into P14 as we continue to work our way down, trying to get the power down on the exit. We've got another cluster of cars in front of us heading down Conrod Straight, so we'll see if we can catch up to them. This is a race that I've been struggling with for quite a while actually, to get the victory in this one. It's a very tough one, and it's the 700 pp is a hard limit. You can't go over, and makes things very tricky. But anyway, we've moved ourselves up and into P12 through the chase, and we get past the Mustang there as the 2 ahead wobble away slightly. That'll give us the opportunity to get involved on the exit, and we'll grab another position there up into P11. We should be able to get into the top 10 by the end of Pit Straight. We'll do just that and move ourselves up halfway through the field so far, but there is still a lot of work to do. As we continue on, we catch up to another couple of cars, and we'll move ourselves up into 8th position as we do a little bit of ping pong between cars and barriers there, and with a bit of a wobble we'll make our way up into the 8th position now. The 8th position, yes. Anyway, as we continue on, we'll also make the move on the Aston Martin through the S's a little bit aggressively there. As we continue on, these soft tyres that we started the race on basically fully used up. After just a couple of laps we'll send it over pit entry because there's no line cutting rules here, and we'll get a new set of tyres on, and we'll put the hards on so they can hopefully make it the 5 laps to the end. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know, but yeah, tyre wear huge on the softs, so you know, these will need to be better. But anyway, fuel is also potentially a concern, so we'll monitor that, but I think it should be fine. Just about. We might need to save a little bit, but first and foremost we need to get ourselves into the race lead, and then we'll worry about fuel a little bit later. So we come out of pit lane and we drop into P19, so we need to do all that work all over again, but we should be able to make a couple of spots potentially into Griffin's Bend here as we make our way up Mountain Straight, back past the Ferrari, and on the brakes into turn 2. Nice move there. We move ourselves up into P18 on the exit. We might be able to grab one more position as we begin to work our way up the mountain. We'll look to the outside, we'll flow it in, and we'll get that move done slightly deep into the cutting, but we move ourselves up nonetheless into P17. But there's going to be a lot of overtaking to do here. P16 right in front of us, as you know, we've got the fresh tyres on the car, so we could probably you know, push quite a lot. Speaking of push, we are doing just that in a bit more ping pong, but we make the move eventually up into P16. As we begin to work our way down through the S's, seems like we're absolutely flying through the field at the moment, and there's a couple more positions to be gained here as we make the move up into P14 with more cars right up the road, and we're having to be a little bit aggressive with these overtakes, but 14th place is now ours as I said, got more cars in sight already. Not sure when everyone else will be making pit stops, but I'm sure they will be, if not for tyres then definitely for fuel. I imagine being front wheel drive, this thing is quite rubbish on its tyre wear, but you know, for the others they may be a little more balanced for the 4-wheel drive and rear wheel drive cars. So we go for the move and get it done up into P13 into the chase. A few more cars right in front of us as we're going to make the move in a straight line under the arm wheel sign and move ourselves up. As we go for the move around the outside, we can get as high as a P11 on this lap if we can get this move done all the way around the outside, and we get the move done and move us up into that 11th position, and even higher as there's cars in the pit lane. We're up into the top 10. Fast forward to the top of the mountain, we've got a Toyota 86 in front of us. We'll swiftly make the move and up into 9th place. And as we come around to complete the lap, others are starting to make their pit stops, so it'll be interesting to see where they re-emerge relative to us as we make our way past and start gaining the positions where you might get as high as a 2nd or 3rd position as we turn left, and we'll drop in 3rd position. So the car that's just come out in front of us is essentially, I think, the race leader in the Corvette C7, so we'll need to see if we can catch up to them. Once again, we are quite quick over the top of the mountain. This is a good opportunity to get past that Corvette. Just note on tyre wear still looks pretty bad, but we might be able to just about bear with it as we muscle our way past the Corvette and up into, I think, what is effectively the race lead as we hit the wall there, and that might just cost us the position again. We'll hold on to it for now, but yeah, well, didn't really need to be making that mistake. But anyway, we still have the Chilean driver ahead of us in the Viper, so we'll see what happens with them. And so we continue on. The Viper does indeed come into the pits, so assuming we can, or assuming they come out behind us, we will be able to maintain the lead to the end. We haven't dropped the Corvette exactly, so we still need to watch out for them as well as we head into turn 1. And unfortunately, the Viper is already out of pit lane in front of us, so despite what is said on the graphic, they have the lead, and yeah, we will need to make this overtake on track. Mazda 3 versus Viper versus Corvette. Who's going to come out on top in this race? Because we are all in it at the moment. But we're going to go full send down the inside of the Viper, and in the end we make a nice move to Griffin's Bend, move ourselves up into the race lead. But to talk a little bit more about this car itself, quite nice to drive. I really enjoyed the race at Fuji. Of course, being a front-wheel drive, it has those front-wheel drive sort of understeery characteristics, so yeah, there is a bit of a different driving style to it. But yeah, really enjoyable car to drive. It's a car where you know you feel like you can push the limits, and it's not going to do anything horrible. So yeah, it is a lot of fun to drive. So really enjoyed this race in this car. As we pass pit entry for the final time, we are a few tenths of a lap short on fuel, so we're straight down into fuel map 6 at the start of the final lap. We'll have enough so long as we can hold off the cars behind in this fuel map. We continue on then to the end, and we did have just enough of a margin. They were catching, but not by enough, and we'll bring it around the final corner a little bit wide on the exit. And you can see him in the background hanging about, but that is going to be victory here at Mountus Panoramas. That's Greek for Mount Panorama. Anyway, we cross the line in first, and that is a victory here. The Corvette eventually getting through on the Viper to take second position in this one. So probably lucky that the Corvette was held up for a little bit there. 165,000 credits, that ain't too bad. And now we get to the final menu book of the episode, which will be about Porsches, I believe. There we go. It is the Porsche Supercars menu book. There's been a few Porsche menu books, but here we go again for yet another one. So here we go, one last menu book for the episode, another 6-star roulette ticket reward, and yeah, three Porsches, which we just actually had to buy one of those. Didn't include it in the video, but yeah, one of those I did not yet own for this. But anyway, congratulations, you've got all 3 cars. This completes your Porsche Supercars collections. Once you've collected your present, I've got some stories to tell you about these cars. So there we have it. The Porsche Supercars collection completed, and a 6-star roulette ticket for our troubles. So let's see what we can learn about these cars. Porsche's long been famous for giving form to the latest tech, and these supercars are no exception. The company dates back to 1931. the year Dr. Ferdinand Porsche set up his humble design studio in Stuttgart, Germany. From day one, the Doctor experimented with everything from car construction to aerodynamics. This history of R&D later became Porsche's secret weapon when it started sending its cars to international races. One such car was the Porsche 911, widely considered to be a masterpiece of sports car design. But the 911 merely scratches the surface of Porsche's many achievements. The three supercars you have here are each technically superior to the 911, and ought to be thought of as treasures of automotive history in their own right. Debuted in 1986, the 959 was the fruit of a decade of research into four-wheel drive technology. Capable of changing torque distribution among four wheels, it led the way for future all-wheel drive sports cars. A 21st century mid-engine supercar, the Carrera GT is another of Porsche's historic claims to fame. The car utilizes a fully carbon fiber construction, from its monocoque body to the subframe holding its suspension. As for its engine, it's equipped with a 5.7 litre V10, developed specifically for the Le Mans 24 Hours, making it a road car par excellence and a vessel for all of Porsche's racing know-how. Since the early 2000s, supercars have begun to play a part in the global fight against climate change. Take the 918 Spider, a car belonging to Porsche's efforts to wean itself off fossil fuels. Powered by a plug-in hybrid system, it's capable of running entirely on 3 electric motors. Even with a 3.4 litre V8 engine factored in, its environmental impact is equivalent to that of a small passenger car. What more can I say? This collection truly symbolizes Porsche's long-time pursuit of engineering excellence. Goodness me, there were a lot of tongue twisters in that. Far out. Wean itself off for fossil fuels. I don't know how many times I said that. But anyway, yeah, we will just move on from that. Get a 6-star roulette ticket, and we'll see what we get as our little reward from this one. And once again, it's all engine swaps. And as always, we get the one in the top left. So what is it going to be? It is going to be the Suzuki VGT engine. Specifically from the Group 3 car, 325,000 credits it is valued at. I didn't know that was a thing. The Suzuki VGT engine. What engine even is that? I'm not sure. It probably says somewhere, but anyway. One last thing I wanted to quickly show though is about the ambulance we drove last time. That is actually a free car. You can actually go to Brand Central and the price tag is free. I don't know if I've ever seen that before in Gran Turismo, getting a car completely for free. Not for achieving something, not for, progress or, as a reward for something. You can just go and pick it up for free. That is very, very strange. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, I'd love to know if anyone knows otherwise, but as far as I know, this is the only free car in Gran Turismo. Certainly in Gran Turismo 7. But even in the past games, I don't recall ever just getting a car completely for free that you can just get at any time. So that's a strange thing. Yeah, I don't know. Is that meant to be some symbol of, like, you can't put a price on safety or something because it's an ambulance? I don't know. Probably not. But, yeah, it is strange that you can just get this for free. So, yeah, that's cool. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. So I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.